What's up, Manny? All right. So we're getting into the close here, so I'm gonna go ahead and break right into our end of day ETF recap. There we go. All right, welcome. All right, so let's go ahead and kick this right off. And again, with these sort of candle closes yesterday, we saw an open on the floor, explosion up. Nothing was broken, and nothing obviously ended up happening from here. Um, Now with today's recovery, right, bouncing off of some serious, I mean, we actually nailed this fucking level to the downside today. Was pretty wicked on IWM if you were able to catch that. But whatever volume was sitting underneath us, right, we pulled up and were able to recover a few floors, leaving a gap behind. And I do want to just preface this with this is a unique area, right? And it's not like we're trading a punchback. It's not like there's boxes on the higher time frames, other than the massive one that we're dealing with here. But any position that is taken today, and I'm going to say this because obviously yesterday this advice wasn't heeded, I think, in the way that it needed to be, but you got to hedge, okay? With everything going on in the world, right? It's you might go and hit your target overnight, and then news comes in and destroys your position, right? And because a lot of things, and I'm watching here as we get into the end of the day, you might actually see a pullback if we're able to lose this little higher time frame floor here on IWM. So you guys keep an eye on this right here, right there. So anything at 259.23, again, would pull back into there. And you're probably, if you are short, you're probably using this box here at the moment. Um, JPM, it's on certain stocks, man. It's on certain stocks. One of the biggest things, right, as we move up to the hourly is by losing that floor that I'm giving you on the lower time frame, you also lose the floor that you were able to recover, giving us a position or a potential gap down, which is kind of the signal that I'm seeing right now is a gap down to 250 or right around 258, where we could still bounce, gap fill, and double gap fill to the upside. And I do, again, want to remind everybody that all of the price action on this higher time frame is mostly empty space. So anything underneath or gapping down underneath 258.44, and we're going to be subject to another leg down. But one of the, I mean, as far as taking this trade to the downside, uh, hitting that 253, bouncing it back up for now, right? You don't really have much to go off of until we get a solid candle close here. But all right, let's keep it moving. And everything looks like this, right? Everything has popped up, propped up, and done it with. And I'm gonna be honest with you, actually. Now, even looking at the cues, you have this gap. You expended volume that you reached down here to get at 591, and in 3 4 hour candles, you weren't even able to fill half of it, right? Or fill anything, or even really grab onto any meaningful structure up here. It was only the floor right here that we were able to hang on to or box, right, that we had to punch through. And I would venture to guess that we're probably sitting, yes, dead slap center at that 50% mark, having already retested underneath us. If that fails as we get towards the end of the day, we might be looking at a work or a leg down tomorrow. Yeah, so I mean, as of right now, we're building. We got a little bit more, around 40 something minutes here. Um, and what really, again, matters is our ability to hang on to 600. If we can hang on to 600, um, but if we see weakness and we see that start to fall or start to fail, that could be a big signal to move it back down into that structure from this morning. So the other side of the trade is obviously a retest of 606. So for now, right, the signal is on standby as what we're seeing right now could be a retest. And if we end up losing what we were able to reclaim today, we might be looking the other way. So you made me 1K today with IWM. You did it, dude. I didn't do it. I made the strategy and gave you the tools, but you made the furniture, you know? Whenever I finish making a wood piece, I don't think Milwaukee. They gave me the tools, but it was my hands that guided them. Sorry, that sounded like poetry. But you good job, dude. You should be proud of yourself. Keep going. All right. Now, um do I have any tools for what? For ignorance? I don't know. We need to get him. Oh, you bought. Oh my god. I think everybody makes that mistake, dude. Everybody makes that mistake. Yeah, you want to know, you want to hear, I got to real quick, when I first started trading, I was around a bunch of people and they told me that if you're making money, it would be red on your P&L. And L. And they were like, "Yeah, they do it opposite." And for a second there, they almost got me. But I was like, "Okay, that's got a negative to it." So, do I know how to build stuff too? Yes. Yes, I do. I was a craftsman, or I did a high quality historic preservation on houses from built from the 1700s to the late 1800s was my specialty. I worked with fucking 100-year-old wood and plaster that has people's hairs in it. Gross, but yeah. One of my old students is scamming. Who's that? If it's Rusty, I already know. I already know. All right. So the exact same thing that I just said here, right? We just retested a floor that we lost and we have not reclaimed it. So the closer that we get here, the closer that we get to a potential, at minimum gap down somewhere in the 676s. But again, with all of this happening right now, and everything, in the world, um, I would have liked to seen today's bounce. And I will say this, it did secure a couple of floors. But as we near the end of the day, right, that securing that floor hasn't mean continuation to the upside. However, the move was big enough. So this might end up opening up less as a swing trade and more as a day trade. A second. I think that if by the end of the day you can pull back and bounce off of this, then maybe you are aiming for that gap fill at 685. But as of right now, I would just, again, like the other ETFs, be on standby for the close. It's Rusty. Yeah, I know about that guy. Yep. Yep, 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 yep. It happens, man. Listen, I don't make it easy on them. So I also like when they threaten to sue me, but then they remember that they don't have the money to do it. So you're watching a double stream. So mute the stream. If you click on the stream that you're watching, there should be a little microphone somewhere up there, and you should be able to mute me. Yeah. Well, now I hear an echo. No, that's in talk. I can't handle that. Um, we're gonna make that stop immediately, or I quit. I can't do it. No. Why is that happening right now? I shouldn't be able to hear my own stream. And nobody else's mic is open. Mic check. Nope. Mic. Give me a second. I figured it out. Yeah, there we go. Oh my God, that was horrendous. I clicked on somebody's stream. Yeah, Moggs. That's why I prefer TikTok, not Discord. On Discord, the value is. What do you mean? The Discord is, I mean, faster than TikTok. Um, but yeah, all you have to do is mute the stream that you're watching. It's somebody else resharing my stream, so you're listening to me, so you're hearing my voice and hearing the stream. So you just have to mute the stream. All right. All right, so ETFs obviously reclaiming the floor here today, but retesting the floors that they need to grab hold of in order to see any sort of continuation. So one could look at this as a retest. I think it'd be interesting if we did gap up, because that honestly set us up for a potential downside move. But we'll look at the candle closes as we near the end of day. All right, now let's talk about a couple of other things here. After I turn my fan on. There you go. Oh, that's weird, dude. Most people can hear my voice pretty clear. You might have to go turn up the volume on Discord. All right, Tesla. All right. So with this thing built up the way that it is, I feel more comfortable looking at another short position. And again, I'm taking this position, hoping to, uh, you know, grab shorter expiration contracts, which this price action is only going to make that cheaper. But with the big ass gap up above it and all this tension here, if the market does find continuation to the upside, it is extremely possible that we see a retest up in that 398 and 399 area, obviously with the gap up above you, potentially 402. I was mad you made money on that straddle, so I did one today. Yeah, yeah, that little account straddle. All right. So 24-hour candle close did secure and hold on to its floor, but was not unable to grab anything up above it. So there is still a short overhead on this one. So if we end up sinking anywhere around that 389, then that might change things. But as of right now, that one's a standby. All right. If you have anything you want me to take a look at, go ahead and drop your request. Yeah, I don't really have a solid conclusion on the ETFs. I know that's probably what people are at as of right now. If I look at this just clean, right? I say, well, this sure looks like a retest, right? Without actually accomplishing anything. And then the couple of green levels or floors that are here closest to your left, you're not above them, at least on Tesla. On SPY, you were able to recover and close on a floor, but still unable to actually hold on to, or even now you're struggling to hold on to this floor, and then this one directly up above you, we wicked off of today. So my question is, and what I'm looking to potentially speculate on, is in this extremely volatile environment where levels will get retested really quickly above, is that what we're looking at today, right? Just like yesterday, we gapped down to a floor, shot up. Today, we gapped down and then dumped to a floor and then shot back up. So every level that we keep hitting, we're pulling volume off of and just retesting with it. Yeah. And IWM is, virtually the same way. Thank you guys for tapping your screen if you're on TikTok. Yeah, IWM is the exact same way. If you're looking at it, just in terms of green candle to your left or floors to your left, this floor has been recovered and is still recovered. So it might be better to look at this one again as we get towards the end of the day. But with that big fat gap up above there and the floor being recovered, it still is in the cards for a potential continuation to the upside. So a gap down 255. The strategies are different between bull and bear markets. No, Charles. The strategy and the way stocks move are the same thing, but in reverse. So I can sometimes literally throw my chart in reverse or flip my chart upside down. So is that you here in Discord? Someone is typing to me on it, and it can't be you because I hear you reading and doing stuff at the same time. Yeah. What's the screen name on that one? You have a choice. You can either harass this person, tell them just dump all of your inner anger on them, use them as a stress ball, or you can just block them. But yes, thank you. I will not DM you. Okay, I don't care what app it is. I just gave three people in here have my number, and they texted me yesterday, and I forgot to text everybody. I text in my mind, or I was waiting for Chad to text me, and then I just got lost in other sauce. Doesn't mean I don't care. All right, guys, let's take your guys' request. If you guys have anything you're looking at here as we go into the end of the day, go ahead and drop those now. Let's take a look at NOW here on the 24-hour. Nice job, John. Damn, not bad. Good push. Good hold for now, right? Good hold for now. You did end up. I mean, you retested that 114.60. You didn't grab it though, and you're pulling back off of it right now. So let's see how you're doing. Look, see how. God damn it, dude! This system blows my mind sometimes. Look at that money. Look at that money. That's the higher time frame retest level, which is also cost basis. And if you fail that retest or breakthrough cost basis, you would dump directly down to 110. Now, the benefit of how you fell is that you fell quickly recently. So watch above that candle right here at 113.32 to pop back up and try and break. And that's your signal for continuation, right? Would be that box there and this small range here. Nice call on IWM. Took that play. Hell yeah, brother. Good job. Good job. Good job. Yeah, we today was actually a really good day for learning. We were able to walk through the IWM trade. Yo, Manny. Yes, Alex. That's how he's kept my face like that for fucking years. It drives me nuts. All right. Yep, go ahead and drop whatever it is that you're looking at. I also took IWM, made $677. Look at that. Even if you guys haven't taken the workshop or joined my Discord, you're already making biggity bread. So now if you want to take the workshop, you can. Pays for itself. All right. What do I say back to what Manny said? He sent me a creepy bee. Let's see here. PLTR up, closing above a box. My God. It it did it. That kind of makes me feel like you could definitely see continuation for sure. Yeah, that's a good close. I mean, again, in this environment, the worst case scenario would be 137.50. But with PLTR's set up right now, I mean, I would be looking at. I would split that space up in half, like so. 151. Hold on. 150.25. I got to move that down because there's two double wicks off the same mark. Mailman. AVGO has earnings tonight. I've slapped that one around a little bit. Let's see, just double check. What's that? That's Papa Chad's baby, dude. About to take it to. Never mind. That was a dark joke. We're gonna keep that one in the wallet. Nah, that's assumptions, dude. Don't assume. Don't assume. Well, well. That's a whole lot of fuckery, actually. So you're in between what you need to hold, right? And you also lost this week and retested the floor that you were in between, which is kind of incredible. But it does set you up and does kind of give off a little bit of a. Oh my god, dude, this one's gonna give me a seizure. Oh, that's definitely it. Oh, you know what? Fuck the channel. Let's just do it this way. Okay. So I gotta say 296, and I know that AVGO can give out some pretty gnarly earnings moves, at least as of recently. Now it's tough for me to call for anything. You have this, but there's nothing there to stop you. And with that weekly setup, it kind of makes me think downside on that one, which I would just again say 297 would be your first target, second 280. On the flip side, if you were able to get 345, there is an upside to up here into the 390, 376, 65s, but I don't know how I feel about that one, man. Part of me part of me is a little bit like, yeah, the fact that you're in this one below the box, you have so many wicks overhead, kind of makes me feel like you're gonna see 288. So I don't know. Do with that what you. Yeah, I mean, long on this one doesn't seem like the move. And you're below your weekly floor, and typically you recover that before you get into earnings, and that kind of throws me off. So yeah, don't forget my YouTube. I'm looking at it. You're a good dude, Potter. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Why? No, I haven't. I have an alert. Dude, I have an alert set for me to look at it. I gotta open that account up. Hold on. Yeah. Did I? Dude, I deserve. I remember when I bought that Peyton went to earnings that or went to Target the earnings basically. Nice. I'm up 6 grand. Sweet. Holy fuck. Not bad. No. No, I think I've gotten her. I think I weaned her off of Target, dude. But now she's looking at more expensive brands. I'm like, what the fuck? Target was like the happy. Yeah. Yeah, she sort of showed me a rug. It's like fucking $1,500. Like, god damn, we're gonna walk on that. What's up, man? Yeah. Oh my god, dude, that was not Ivy, was it? Ivy. That was a beautiful. Oh yeah, no, I'm glad. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you wanted honesty from me, so. All right, let's see here. Microsoft is looking interesting. Yeah, yeah, that's either the nastiest retest of all time or a signal to go fuck. Dude, Microsoft is. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Microsoft has kind of whipped my ass the last couple times, and I'm not a Microsoft trader. But if they do jack the Qs up overnight or even into tomorrow, this would be something they use to do it. So I can't say anything other than 412, right? The system says empty space gets filled. That's going to be the easiest thing to fill. You didn't retreat far enough to really call this, and that's the same thing we're looking at in the Qs, and we can, take this into consideration. If Qs the stocks within the Qs are set up to maybe run, we can take that into consideration on the Qs. But that being said, how you got here, yeah, so you do see right on the 30-minute, you're still stuck underneath that 406 with a retest that hasn't really amounted to anything. So as easy as it was to rip through this, right? You could say the same thing back down. Um, I mean, it might be even better taken tomorrow, depending on how it closes. Those puts of yours gave me an uppercut. Which puts, dude? Which puts? The ones we sold this morning? Or oh, you bought those? You bought my puts, dude. No. No. Yeah. Thanks. RGTI earnings. Bugatti. All right, so we're looking for a good setup. And already, I mean, the obvious 2160 if you could launch out of here, which it's not like you have a box. However, you are bouncing and holding this floor or box underneath you. I can see this on a lower time frame. Let's see here. Okay, you got a little channel action here as well. Hmm. So the hmm. So the easy answer here is you rip ass above 1850. And that would I would assume 20. So I mean, if you see that, what I do see here as well is that if this is a retest of the same level that you sunk into, then the next new low would likely be somewhere around the 12 or even 12, 11. I mean, it's not super duper clear. You don't have incredible structure underneath you except for this, which again says 1264. So that might be a target to look for to the downside. All right, man. See you, dude. Oh man, that's rough. Yeah, I wish that would happen. Amazon. Well, that's AMD. Oops. Uh so obviously with market conditions, it makes it a little bit racking, whatever. And I mean, you had the same thing happen yesterday that you're having happen today, right? And I think that, does speak to utilizing the volume underneath you, right? Down here to drive price back up. But it is still, right? This box in particular that we're looking for 210 to break to get up and out. Um, I think it's tough, tough, because you're still not able. Interesting. Okay, so wow, cost basis is really holding you back. at some point should just buy some leaps. No, no, I don't buy leaps just cause. I always buy them because the play looks good. So this is again, in order for me to verify that this trade is going to be good, right? And I like the engulfment, but the engulfment doesn't tell me anything. It doesn't, say what I'm looking for, which is and so I mean, if you even think about a gap up, right? Do we expect a gap up to be outside without some sort of catalyst? And that would be the only variable that you're playing off of here. So while the candle is solid, and if you have a play on this, the worst case scenario is back down to 199, right? Or back down to the box down here, which you've already retested off of. So I obviously give that one a more of a bullish vibe. But as far as breaking yesterday's high, that's where we're stopped. So the closer, I mean, you close there, the better the chances are continuation of the upside. So is my program beginner friendly? Yeah, I mean that's what I'm teaching right now is beginner. Literally, I mean yesterday's class was straight beginners. I mean, yeah, it does look good. I mean, Amazon looks good if you have it. Just have a plan. Yeah, or if anything, a hedge. But it doesn't look bad. It's half tempted to do it myself. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing said it was cutting 50,000 jobs and fucking launches itself out of here. But Lord have mercy. See, Meta, man, Meta. And that's why me and Meta get into fucking scuffles, is because it'll do these, like, if you look at it right here, man, I mean, the oscillations on this thing are nuts, but um, the period point blank end of story, the stock's about to move. Yeah, I'm unimpressed with its inability to get outside with the cues running up the way that they did. You barely mustered enough to go and tap the fucking overhead high. So it's not like we don't have a signal directly up above us. If we get this, we get that. If we get that, we get this. And then obviously we'd be looking with the rest of the market to potentially see continuation. So yeah, if I seem tired, I'm fighting these carnitas right now. I might have to make a late afternoon espresso so I don't sleep tonight. I don't know if the carnitas were the best choice. They were delicious though. Does it really? Ooh. Ooh. Oh no. You sick bastard. We're gonna get Yeah, let me go ahead and just look at Sydney Sweeney's Twitter on my computer. That's a great idea. Yeah, well, why didn't dude, she's on Fortnite. You know how that bothered. All right, real quick. IWM has just now lost a 259.50 low, pulling back, retreating from the highs, falling pretty quickly though. Watch a retest off of 258.86. 258.86. That's the low. That's the floor we had to recover. Dude, if we flash dumped, I already have some puts, but if we flash dumped at the end of the day, dude, that'd be wild. Probably. Yeah, I'm probably. Yeah. I'm about to do something with this. Get scared sometimes. Hold on, I'm doing deep analysis right now. You know when your AI is doing deep research? That's what I'm doing right now. Fuck. Damn. Every side is jacked. Not at the 75s. All right. I'm putting, yeah, I'm putting my homie's whole account into this one. He said he wanted me to do this. I'm doing it. I no, I'm putting half. I put half of his account in that one. I'm looking at 123s. Sing it, lady. Oh, that's a little more expensive than I would like there, boy. What kind of spread is that, my boy? Yeah, I got 125. I see empty space up to 126.75. So I am doing a straddle. I'm putting half of his account in the upside and half of it to the downside. That's what he told me to do. I said, why don't you just why don't we just take it seriously? He told me straight up, he's like, I just want to gamble. And I want you to use your card. The dude, he literally was like, he goes, bro, he's like, you know how to count cards. So at least he's like, the probability of you gambling with like just throwing shit at it, he's like, is probably higher than most people. So I was like, all right, fuck you then. I'm gonna do it. He kind of provoked me. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know, he triggered me. So if I blow his account, then I prove a point. If I blow his account up, then he's got to give me some of that money. All right. Yeah, metas. Trading view is it. And class tonight is at 5:30. This Carnita's making me want to push it to fucking 7:30. I'm not going to. I'm gonna go do some push-ups. Carnitos Michoacan. Ooh. We're gonna be digging into some of the more advanced stuff. Yeah, I just wanted to knock the simple stuff out of the way. Well, obviously, beginning. How far do I go out? When I play earnings like this, I pick targets. Wherever the target is, wherever I would take this on a normal ass play is where I'm gonna take it today. So could be $72, could be 123. When we have empty space on both sides, I'm fucking around and I'm finding out. This is like this is where I get to kind of, and not putting a guarantee on it. I cannot guarantee that this doesn't wick down and then pull itself back up, but I'm willing to put a little bit of cash and obviously my homie's entire account in it. Open door looks all right. Does that have earnings? Well, it was at like 250. It's at 9. It was yeah, it's at 927 right now. So, yep. Oh, what expiration on this gamble. I mean, you could swing 255s on IWM, but I think it might bounce in pre-market. Might make it hard to. Give me a second, guys. I'm not doing anything. Promise. I'm a big dip. No, just kidding. Let's see. Nah, I had some extra BPs. Hold on. 260 force to the head. That's the hedge, or no matter which way you're taking it. Yeah, they're not bad. I. All right, let me see this one. If this one opens up in the same range, prepare thy cheeks. Damn, dude, look at that little box I put there this morning. Right off of it. So, I mean, to me, dude, like the fact of the matter is a gap is. It's like if you look at Tesla, right? You couldn't even recover half of it. You couldn't even recover 50% of it, which is typically a gauge on how much volume we have coming off of the floor. And by gapping down to the floor, pulling all that fucking volume, look what you have left, which makes the floor that much weaker. Anakin, brother, you cannot do this to me. There you go. At least for now. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean we have to. If we open up in the same range and they give them the ability to build more, then we could create the volume, to get back up. But yeah, can you? I have 4 cats, dude. This shit. Even the cat has drip. Yeah, my cat's got an iced out chain, bro. It's supposed to be a bracelet, but all right. Let's see here. Kate. Yeah, for ding 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 ding. Yeah, we'll tick. Where's Toothless? Toothless is sitting on the top of my fucking PC, blocking all the exhaust going out. So the PC's getting hot right now. Uh, Obviously, I got out of KDP after that retest, and just the failure to go and punch back. Just let this box up above be that signal, and we never fired off of it. So, as far as I'm concerned, tomorrow you should be dealing with this box underneath you around 2940. Yeah. Say hello, Toothless. You're a star, dude. Don't expose your belly if you don't want me to touch it. Yeah, work cat is right. All right, what else? Lulu, aim, or hold on. A is A and F right now? Okay. Well, I'm not gonna lie. That one's I'm a little amped up about that one. It's a little exciting. Not very often we get clear empty space on both sides. That's like the perfect straddle setup. Especially, I mean, the contracts could be cheaper, but yeah. So that's how to get belly rubs from Potter. Jesus Christ. He said, "Nice dog." I was riding my bike in the city one time. I rode past a horse carriage, and I was like, "Damn, that's a big dog." The people on the carriage were like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, so like on something like this, where you could really make a case for both sides, you can. If it's far enough out of the money, you can play on both sides. And that's the thing is you're trying to get as many contracts as you can, within your risk, within earnings risk for those targets because we expect, right, coming out of consolidation, we expect a big move up or we expect a big move down. There's not nothing to really stop you, right? Camera's too tall. All right. What else? Did I miss anything? AMAT, it didn't recover from today's drop. Well, I wonder what news we're going to get here in the next fucking 24 hours. It's going to keep rolling in. Apparently Trump's saying they've knocked everybody off. They're going to send in peacekeepers from Israel to go secure the site. I did not, man. Well, if we send them to the other side, fuck. But I mean, it could be the implications are much larger than that, right? There's Muslim countries at war, and you're allied and kind of fucking over a Muslim country. They could make a switch lanes. Who knows? And again, this stuff is gonna affect price. So I'm not. Damn, dude. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm waiting for the headline where they're like, "Yeah, we're sitting in Israeli American troops, more Americans to secure the fucking." Yeah, and I mean, yeah, dude, it's hard to think about the market ripping up into highs. You know what I mean? Like, especially, and I'm not, you guys know me, I'm not one to like really, sister in a bunch of shit. But with these conditions, and it's tough because levels get retested, floors get recovered, but then nothing happens beyond that. And yeah, you what here gap down, pop up, then gap down, then pop halfway up, then and so my yeah, dude, I'm honestly and we have not been in this sort of environment where war is really starting to kick off here in a long time. You know what I mean? So uh, there's and I hate to say this statement outside. It feels morally abrasive, but it's there's money to be made. Unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately, off of the things that are going to happen to come. But I think for tonight, or even just looking at the ETFs now, you know, even looking at the weekly right now, it's just really hard to see this thing ripping up and going into all time highs, so oh yeah, let's see that one went. Jesus, two times. No shit. Look at empty space, guys. It's over, but damn. Yeah, that wasn't enough space. I mean, yeah, that wasn't enough space. Yeah, that's disrespectful. Yeah. Yes, I have some IWM speculative positions, of course, in this environment. I got 255s to the downside for tomorrow. and I got those 264s to the upside. So, dude, how did Target do that? I didn't even see Target. I don't look at my equity until my alerts go off. Oh, I don't know if how long I suspect this will last, but J dot. Yeah. Mm-hmm. How many trades did I take today? Five. I mean, it was all kind of one big trade, but yeah. Oh my God. Yo. That was Alex, dude. That's Alex. That's Alex, dude. He's just as slick, man. Yeah, I had a great dude. Today was amazing. Yeah, the gains page from today was lit up. Uh, so yeah, look at this shit. One of our new students had her first green day. Fuck yeah. Uh, ASTS. Okay. Yeah. Listen, this thing has been the biggest beast. Listen, it's actually given me not only dividend returns, it's also just given me straight up returns. Oh God. Yeah. Do I sell these hats? Yes, but please don't buy them. Don't do it. Don't make me do it. Yo, get it. No, look at the dividend. Yeah, no, QILD, man. The dividend, the last couple ones were 17 cents or point 0.17. And it's just, I mean, it doesn't, it has its, it had, listen, dude, it fucking, the goal has been for the last, 3, 4 years on this thing to accumulate enough to pay everything so that dividends pay me, like, and that's what so that way, like, dude, it takes the pressure off of, like, think about it. When you start trading, like, you don't have the capital to start generating, letting things work, like having, $20,000 of, equity and Target or something, like that. Those things aren't available, so you're not able to, because that takes away a lot of, that your money is already working for you. So it's like you have time to focus on better setups and actually kind of pulls you away from the bullshit. You know what I mean? And at least this isn't my experience. Um, but yeah, I don't really have, I try to be strategic about QYLD. Like sitting here at all time highs, obviously it's probably better to wait for a little bit of a pullback, but I'm not a big DC. I don't believe in DCA. DCA, in my opinion, is when you have this system, there's places you can place your orders at. Um, yeah, I hope one day that I change the game when it comes to investing. I hope DCA dies because I just think that, while you might have a company like Apple, 10 years ago, and that probably was a great DCA, trade, it's not the same now. If you just, so I mean, why not, even if it's $1,000, why not have it in a place that makes sense? You know what I mean? Like, especially coming off the lows, or, like after, so it's like, yeah, as long as you're being strategic. Yeah. I still have a butt ton of you, but I've had that for years, years. Um, yeah, I mean that's fine, man. As long as you're being strategic. So, if you can't buy partial shares, then it's a bad platform. I don't know, man. I don't even. I'd rather find something affordable. You know what I mean? Like that's just me. I think, just buying the ETFs, long holding, like that's great. But like again, I feel, and maybe one day I'll learn this the hard way, but so far it's been going absolutely fantastic, using my system, and if I see a long-term opportunity, like I don't just buy it, dude. I fucking buy it. You know what I mean? And I put cash into that because if I feel secure about where that stock is at, I mean, I've done the same thing with Elf. I've done obviously the same thing with Target's been a really easy hold. Um, but that being said, this is just my way. You don't have to, I'm not, I don't have a rule book against DCAing. I just have a system that tells me where it might be better to buy and then where I can set a stop loss. So that way I'm not holding on to shit. Like, I don't want to hold on to something that could continuously dump if I know that's what's to happen, right? If it looks like A and F and I'm long on it, and we dump down below that floor and I know that we got a whole hell of a lot of empty space underneath us, like why would I do that when I can just find or even use that same average? Oftentimes, I'm placing my position on structure, and it would be the same structure that we have now that would be where I would utilize, or what I would utilize to take that back up. So, um, what's the actual name of your channel so I get the real one? Like this one? It's Potter Stocks Trading on YouTube and stuff. But I mean, if you're have me on Discord, what, Toothless? What? Hello? You really want me to pick you up? Oh my God, wow. That's all good. Carvana, you said? Nice. I see. All right, let's see here. Well, that's heavy. Mm. Well, this would be your third time. And on this bounce, unless this week can flip 333, 332, um, I mean, yeah, you bounce off the candle closes, but underneath that candle low, you would be looking at this wick. That would be the third time. And if that cannot hold you and support you, then you would be looking down here at 233.28. Yeah. Hold on. Sorry, I was getting a drink. 24-hour, though, looks like that. So that's where you could flip that 328 candle and try and flip that to the upside. So if you're looking at the upside, that's where you're at with it. Today's bounce didn't really successfully recover or push anything past. So today's wick could be easy to move through to go and reach that target down there. So that's an interesting setup. It has had earnings too as well. So can you box up now? NOW? Because you're wondering whether I'm going to use this or if I'm going to use this. And that's a totally valid question. but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. And there's more points of contact on the 4 hour on the lower time frame off that top, while there's only a wick off of the top of a range. Man, talk about being smushed. Look at that. Another podcast came out about how bad Roblox is. Yeah, I don't let my kids play Roblox at all anymore. They played for a little while and they weren't allowed to use their microphones or chat, which, but I just go ahead and. Oh, dude, I already know. They're not allowed to go in there. He can play Rec Room, but I even have to police that. There's like grown men like rapping about drugs and guns and like again, like that's fine in real life. Like do what you need to do, tell your story. But like you're in a little kid's like rat lounge on a video game on VR. I'm like, you're not, I don't know how hard you really are. Nah, nah, dude. I'm telling you, there's nothing good that comes out of that place. You got to be an adult. You know what I mean? Like when you're 20 and 20, in your early 20s, like that shit can be humorous, but like, you've already developed. You don't want to be bonding on with somebody on that. Yeah. Yeah, not with that one, man. There's some real ass weirdos on there. Sorry. I mean, there's some people who damn near live in VR. I know some of you guys saw Marcus the Worm. He kind of went like viral for a while, and hey, it's funny stuff. But that space that they're in is like exactly where like they're. I mean, again, I don't care, if these people feel bad that I'm saying this, but like there are people who are like live in VR so much that they say they have phantom touch, where like they can feel like this one lady said that she had an allergy to tomatoes and this guy was throwing digital tomatoes at her and she was like, I'm having a phantom allergic reaction in real life, and she was like hyperventilating on the floor, and I'm like, uh okay, like we're yeah, yeah. I mean, listen, there's just more people on Earth and more places for those kind of people to thrive. I mean, people have been dressing up as animals and trying to pretend like it's not sexual for a little bit longer than we should. You know what I mean? But there's also been people who have been loving animals for probably millennia, forever, goats and donkeys. Like there's some real problems with that in some areas in the world. So it's just human, unfortunate, some different, you know, area of humanity that thank God I don't live in or belong in, but just metastasizing into something different, But I don't think it's enough people for like I mean again, if that's what they want to do, if somehow they have the ability to maintain that lifestyle, I guess that's one less person you're seeing on the street. They're in their house living in a different world, so not your problem. Pretty soon we can study charts in VR and we can see candles in 3D. I have a VR. I actually have a VR trading room. I have like an office in VR that I hosted a couple. It did not go over very well because there was a bunch of people who had to watch through the stream on my VR, and it was yeah, people did not like it. So, what is my analysis on Roblox? Nothing good. I mean, today's bounce didn't do shit. You're staying in range. You could. This is just a not a great stock, but the goal here, anything above 72 has a chance to go to 77. I mean, I'm not saying you can't. I play VR. I've been on VR chat. They have like some rooms that are like, I'm an adult. I know what the fuck is weird and not, or what I don't want to listen to. I can just leave. Novel concept. That's I mean, obviously not enough juice for me to call for like a full-on reversal. You really don't even have any floors here that are on the 24 hour. The weekly doesn't really provide much, so you're going to have to go with your price action nearest to you here on your left. And this is my last chart, guys. I got to get ready for class. I got to mentally prepare. I also got to go hang out with my kids for a little bit. What's up, Color Blue? I tell you what, on something like this, you got to take it step by step. The lack of structure, right? You got the floor. The median doesn't give you a punchback, but the end of that empty space is 2110, and outside of 2150, right, you would have access to that empty space. However, typically this is where some sort of range will start building. So I would just keep your eyes peeled. So I don't have any screeners, Nate. I mean, I listen, I'm not your traditional trader, you know. So I have a unorthodox method. There are people in here who use scanners. I'm not one of them. My group as itself has become a scanner, so everybody's always looking everywhere. But I also have a list of stocks that volume moves in and out of fluidly, and so I gravitate around them. And that's IWM is my honey hole. That's my little, and not a lot of people trade that stock either, you know, so it's kind of sweet. But um you know, I kind of I gravitate around a certain number of stocks. They go through phases of consolidation and expansion, and I try to obviously fit myself and weave myself in between those two. So um yeah, I mean, think about it from my perspective, right? All day, every morning, every afternoon, people are asking me to look at stocks all across the market. And while I'm doing that, I have screens above me where I'll click on, or, you know, you'll ask me about MU and I'll go look at AMD simultaneously. So I'm like, you know, just scanning. Oh, and that's why I'll bring up another stock, you know, well, after somebody requests that. But, you know, I don't have, and that's definitely something that I'm not opposed to building, you know what I mean? But I went and like when I went to Finviz and started trying to like look for my setup or find the parameters on how to create it, you know, maybe I'm just not that tech savvy or you know, I'm not able to, but you know, I was trying to look for stocks that had been like sitting in range and stuff like that. And I just really it felt like I was kind of filtering through trash, you know. Um, but again, I know that I have a pretty long list of stocks that, you know, if one sector is already moved, I can kind of look at another. But yeah, I mean, that's what's over here to the right. You know, these are all stocks, you know, probably say for fucking Starbucks. I don't even know why I have that on there. Get that out of here. I think I added it to the watch list when it was down here in that bucket. Yeah, it was. Yeah, yeah, no, I was talking to the people on Discord. So, all right, guys, I got to get out of here. I'm sorry. I'll see those of you guys who are on TikTok. If you guys are in class, I'll see you there. If you guys are here in Discord or on YouTube, see you guys in class, or I'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. We'll see what the market does, man. Futures traders keep us in the loop, you know. That's beautiful. That was a beautiful clip right there. Damn. Nailing Junior. You know, as we get into the end of the day too, right? We're not bouncing. All the levels, everything is still the same. So you can kind of watch this as we get into the end of the day. Curious. Because if we start dumping, right, and we're underneath that level, I think that we could absolutely go hit that 225. And what I do think will happen is this will come into play. We'll see a gap down here, and then you'll gap fill, build, and then fucking go and fill that rest of the gap to the upside. That's what I think. Oh, sorry. Let me yeah. Yeah, I bet it was. Yeah, let me show you guys real quick. You know, on the 15-minute, it's this channel here. So if we do sync, right, or open up underneath this, we'll flush here, build, and then you have a chance to go and fill that gap. But we'll see what we get, guys. All right, I'll see you in the morning.